I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is Bob Ward, partner and pollster at Fabrizio Ward. Bob, thanks so much for coming back on again.
Thanks for having me, Brittany.
The AARP released a new poll, this time out of Michigan, and it's really illustrating what we've all been saying for months now, that this is a tight race. This poll is showing that the swing state is a toss-up. So what sticks out to you?
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't get closer. We have Trump and Harris tied at 46 apiece. RFK still on the ballot in Michigan. He's getting 3%. But this is a race that, while it's tied, there's a lot of demographic differences happening underneath the hood. We've got a big gender gap where women are voting for Harris by a considerable margin, men voting for Trump. We've got a real big education gap where Trump has the advantage among the larger group of Michigan voters who don't have a college degree, and Harris is, quite a big lead among those college graduates or those with postgraduate degrees. So there's a lot of differences. There's a generation gap too. I mean, overall, we typically look at voters over and under 50, and actually there's not that much difference. I think Trump has a 1-point lead among voters over 50. Harris has a 1-point lead among voters under 50. But when you start looking at the individual age groups, what's interesting in Michigan is that the extremes of the age group, so those voters 18 to 34, they're voting for Harris by 13 points. And all the way at the top of the age group, seniors, those age 65, Harris is winning them by 11 points. Those voters in the middle, those age 35 to 64, they're voting for Trump by about 10 points. So there's a lot of different things happening within the electorate in Michigan, but it all adds up to a dead even race.
That's really interesting. Talk about that a little more, that the ends of the spectrum, when it comes to age, they're voting for Harris. Everyone in the middle, the majority is voting for Trump there. Is that because of the issues and what matters most to these voters?
I think it's a couple of things. So yes, I do believe issues are playing a role in driving both the youngest voters and the oldest voters to Harris. But I also feel like there's sort of structurally, we have partisan differences there. Although on the upper end of the age spectrum among seniors, we've actually seen that be a fluid age group. When we polled back in August, it was a much tighter race among seniors, and they really have moved in Harris's direction since that poll was right before the Democratic convention. And they are financially pressed. They are reliant on Social Security. Issues like family caregiving mean a lot to that age group. And then on the younger side of the spectrum, there I think we would have expected to see strong support for the Democrat, and we do. So I think that is sort of less issue driven than sort of who those voters are.